In this video, I'm going to show you how I did this top stitching here with just using a single row of stitching, using the embroidery foot to help align it. Do your regular seam, construction seam as usual. I'm using a 5/8 inch seam allowance. And then what you're going to want to do is press this open. This is the wrong side of the fabric. You want to use an iron and press the seam open, which I've done on this piece already. So you have a nice flat fabric with no creases. Then use the inside edge of either the right or left side of your embroidery foot to align the fabric with the seam. Then move your needle all the way to the right, and that'll put the needle right into the ditch. What you want to do is move over. I'm going to move over on my machine. Is 7 millimeters is the farthest. And I'm going to come back 2 millimeters to the 5 position. Lower my needle and do row of stitching. Take your fabric out, rotate your fabric around, put it back in here, and line it up for the other side. Lower your needle. That's your first row. Or first 2 rows. Then you put your fabric back in. Then I'm going to go about 3 millimeters over. Do a second row. Well, actually, this would be the third row. Take your fabric out, rotate it around, leaving your needle right where it is. Put it back in there, lining up. This will be your 4th and final row of stitching. And this is how I do some of my top stitching without any special feet. Without having to do a lot of adjusting on the machine. And you can also do the same technique here with a straight stitch foot. Make sure you have your needle in its center position to go through the hole. I have another piece of fabric here that I did earlier. It's just a straight stitch, and I pressed open the seam. And this foot has 2 different sides on it. This is about a 1/16 of an inch. And this is about I believe, a 1/4 or 3/8 on this foot. I'm going to use the smaller one here to do the first row. You line it up. The seam edge on this side of it. Do your first row here. rotate your fabric around to do the second row. Now what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to use this edge, outer edge here, to line up the seam. Actually, I'm going to go with the outer edge of this here. I believe that'll give me a full 1/4 inch from the seam. Rotate your fabric around, line it up to do your 4th and final row. And that'll also give you this same look and help you guide. This one, the double row is slightly wider, but see how well it helps you line them up. Just using the 1 foot and using the thinner edge for the 2 rows, then the thicker edge or the outer edge for the outer 2 rows.